I do think they'll face each other again. The rematch is too lucrative to step away from. Daniel Dubois' right hand is probably the most deadly right hand in boxing. I just think Terence Crawford will outwork him, will pot shot him, and I think he'll win on points.
Right, it's your boy Owen from Sporting Talk in conjunction with Fight Lens TV. And once again, we're back in Liverpool this time for our monthly update with the bomber, Tony Bellew. Tony, I know you turn down interviews left, right and centre and keep it exclusive for us, and we're very grateful for that.
Pleasure.
Now, I heard you've had a pretty exciting morning. I don't know if you want to speak about it or keep it under wraps for now.
It'll all come out on my social media. But yes, I've scored the worldie of a free kick at Goodison Park for the last ever non-professional game on there.
Incredible.
And won us the game against Barclays Bank 2-1.
Wow, bosh.
Up the toffees.
Yeah, come on the toffees. There's only one game left, as you said, at Goodison Park. But Everton are above Spurs and Manchester United in the Premier League table, so don't forget that. But yeah, what should we? I was going to ask you about poker quickly. Okay. Just because I know you're a poker player, we've got other poker playing ex-boxers that we deal with. Okay. And it'd be interesting to get you maybe head to head or heads up, as I should say.
I'd like to have a go at that. That sounds good.
Do you have a particular poker memory from your career that sticks out?
I've had aces and lost. That sticks with me. I've had aces and I'm being all in and lost, which is very, very frustrating. But
bullets.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not so. I don't play often, but I do enjoy playing when I get the chance to play. So I'm not someone who enjoys gambling, so I enjoy playing with my friends and stuff like that. So
keeping it social.
I wouldn't know how it'd be if I was to play for high stakes, but I'd be willing to give it a go.
Yeah. Are you more of an online player though, or are you like face to face?
Oh no, none of the online stuff.
Yeah, fair play.
I mean, I'd be willing to give it a go because I don't know. I'm sceptical. Yeah. When it's online, you're like, can these really see me cards?
Oh, that's a good point, to be fair.
You never know, but I should give it a go online, to be fair.
And if there was anyone you could play heads up with, kind of a pro poker player or a celebrity? Phil Ivey, the legend,
I want to play him.
Yeah.
He was amazing, wasn't he? Yeah. I've got a couple of mates who play, so Danny Myers is a friend of mine. Terence Hatton's a good friend of mine. They're top poker players in the UK. Okay. So good friends of mine.
Maybe we'll have to get you active on the poker scene.
Let's give it a go.
This year. But let's talk about boxing, because that's why we're here, really, isn't it? But Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. gave us one of the fights of not just the year, but probably the decade, to be fair. I mean, people said modern day Hagler Hearns. That's not blowing it out of proportion, really, isn't it? What a fight, what a night in general.
I told everyone who'd listen, this fight cannot disappoint. It will be an unbelievable fight. And I told it it's like putting a chemical equation together. It can't do anything but explode. Yeah. When you put certain chemicals together, you know what's going to happen. And for me, Chris Eubank Jr. is an okay boxer, but he's a better fighter than he is a boxer. And when he's pushed, he'll revert to fighting, which he done on the night. And Conor Benn only knows one way. And when you put them two equations together, you're always going to get a great fight. They could fight 10 times and they'd be 10 great fights. Yeah, I think the results could differ and change between them, which one will win one, or they might end up one wins 6, the other one wins 4, but it was a really good fight. Incredible. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think the right man won on the night. I'm obviously a good friend of Conor Benn. Yeah. But I think Chris Eubank Jr. deserved the win. I thought I had it level going into 10. And
the championship rounds.
Them last 2 rounds, he came strong.
Yeah, he pushed him.
His experience. I don't want to say he didn't win the fight because of his size, but he kind of old-manned him in them last 2 rounds. He pushed him back, he walked him back, he got on his chest. Yeah. He landed his shots, then he just walked back. Yeah. And it's so hard to keep a bigger man off you. I felt it myself over the years. Yeah,
it was spectacular. I mean, the atmosphere in the stadium, I was lucky enough to be there. When Chris Eubank Sr., they saw him coming out of the car in the car park. Just the place went crazy, and that's what we love about boxing, is the way it can kind of just entrance people like that.
It was theatre of the highest level. Yeah, it was unbelievable. I'm so happy that his dad's back in his life. Every son needs his father.
True.
And so I'm happy that they're back together.
And like you say, credit to Conor Benn for taking it a distance and going all the way, like not backing down, never, anything like that. And
the two of them have grown from this experience, and the reputations have also grown. So fair play to both fighters, and commiserations to Conor. He fought his heart out, he gave it everything he did. You've got to understand, everyone thought he was going to get blown away. He's going up against a career middleweight. Yeah.
Going up 2 weight levels.
Getting up 2 weight divisions in one night, and gave it everything he possibly had. hurt Chris Eubank Jr. a number of times.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, because Eubank claimed that he never felt hurt, he never felt in trouble. Do you think he's just saying that after the fact?
That's fighter show bravado. In that third round, he's clearly stunned. I mean, he gets hit with a shot. I said Chris Eubank Jr.'s, greatest asset is his offense. When he lets his shots go and lets his hands go, he's got really good attacking abilities. But his defense isn't great, and when he started letting his hands go, which he did do in that third round, he didn't see the shot come from Conor. And it's always the shot you don't see coming, the right hand over the top, he missed. And he was rocked heavily. And then again in the fifth, he was rocked. So there's nothing wrong. All fighters, no one's ever been in a boxing ring and not been hurt. Nobody. Everyone's been hurt. Can't go swimming out, get wet, as they say.
Exactly. It's facts. What was I going to say? Do you think we'll see Conor Benn back down at 147 now? Do you think he'll be tempted by the rematch if we can get Chris Eubank Jr. to accept it? Where does he go?
I think both have got many options. Both have got an awful lot of options in front of them. It's just down to them now what they choose, what them options will be. I do think they'll face each other again. The rematch is too lucrative to step away from. But then there's a number of fights for both. I say Barrios for Conor Benn. I know Lara's there for Chris Eubank Jr. Billy Joe Saunders is there for Chris Eubank Jr. He's got a number of options. He's got Canelo on the table. How viable that is, I don't know, but it's a ridiculous match if it's ever made. I just think at this stage in the career, they're both at a similar level. Conor's young. He's going to progress, he's going to learn the experience, he's going to do him well.
That's it.
Chris is coming more to the back end of his career now.
Well, do you think he could be tempted to walk away? He made a lot of money from that fight, but there is more money out there to make, but it also must have drained him physically.
He deserves it and has earned it when it comes to money. He's a career middleweight. I don't know where this big thing is that he's struggling at middleweight, struggling to make weight. I remember the day he sat there and said, I can make anything from light middle to super middle.
Really?
And said he would beat anyone from 154 all the way to 168. So is 160 killing? I don't know. Weight, I must admit, weight is harder to make as you get older, and he isn't getting any younger. But he showed huge amounts of resolve in that fight. To come back the way he did, win them last two rounds, he fought like his life was on the line. He really did. He did not stop. He gave it everything he had. As you know, I'm not his biggest fan, but I tip my hat to him. I give him all the credit in the world. He showed massive amounts of desire, massive amounts of bravery to come through what he came through. He really did. So I take my hat off to him.
Yeah, fair play. And this more recent weekend, we saw Romero beat Ryan Garcia, which obviously surprised a lot of people. Wasn't the best fight you'll ever see. In fact, none of the three were.
No.
But nonetheless, credit to him, and Ryan Garcia has to go back to the drawing board, really.
I thought Teofimo Lopez stole the show. I thought he was fantastic on the night. I thought he was still very good. He was the best of a bad bunch. But I still think Teo's performance was good. As for Devin, no. He wasn't at it, and as for Ryan Garcia, just wow. I mean, I seen a clip with Timothy Bradley, who I respect immensely, saying that these fights are made soft because of the money, and I kind of felt it was a bit of hating from Timothy Bradley.
He's missed the kind of era.
Because now it's nothing to do with money, because when you get in the ring, no one's thinking about the money. Well, I weren't as a fighter, and I've never come across a fighter who, it's all about the money until the contract's signed. Once it's agreed, the money's no longer a factor. When you get in that boxing ring, it's mano v mano, it's man v man. You don't think about the money, you don't think about the prize.
No, that's
and for me, I didn't like that from Tim Bradley, because I just thought it was wrong. And you're having a pop and saying, the low punch outputs. It's quite simple. Styles make fights.
That's it, yeah.
It's always been the case. It's never. Don't deviate away from that in boxing. Styles will and always have made fights.
Exactly. Like we saw with Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. Everyone knew it was a power kick waiting to explode.
It was going to be a phenomenal fight. When you've got the likes of Skull versus Canelo, and he's constantly, he doesn't want to know. He's not going to meet Canelo in the middle of the ring. He's not good enough to do that, and he's not strong enough. So why is he going to do it? He's going to fight to his best attributes, which is on the back foot with plenty of movement. Rolly Romero, it's similar to him. He's going to fight it for his best attributes.
Yeah, I think, like you said there, Canelo actually turned down fighting William Skull 18 months previously because he said it's not going to be a good fight. It's going to be just defensive and kind of slightly on the back foot, both fighters. So maybe you can see that come to
I just don't like the way everyone's jumping on the bandwagon now. I've seen De La Hoya doing as well. Everyone in the career, there's not a fighter who's ever lived being a world champion who's not been in a bad fight.
No.
Every one of us has been in bad fights. Because at some point, no, you can't be a thrill sample. Ultimately, you're going to get either a mandatory or you're going to try and win a world title. You're pushing on in a contender slot, or you're fighting a final eliminator. I fought a guy called Isaac Chilemba. He was a nightmare to fight. He was so quick, but so negative with the way he fought. He just didn't want to know. Right. I fought Nathan Cleverly in a rematch. He didn't want to know. He went on the back foot. The dreadful fights. Now, it takes two to tango. So I feel for some of these fights. I feel for Canelo. You know, I feel for Devin Haney. But you've also got to take some responsibility yourself. You've got to press the fight. If you're like against Nathan Cleverly in the rematch, I pressed the fight the whole night. I walk forward. He just didn't want to know. I can't force him to fight.
No,
he wants to survive. Against Isaac Chilemba, I got on his chest the whole night and just bullied him and beat him in the rematch. These are what you've got to do as a fighter. It might not be pretty, it might not look good, but you've just got to find a way to win.
Find a way to get your hand raised. That's it, isn't it?
That's all you've got to do.
Do you think Ryan Garcia kind of had an eye on the rematch with Devin Haney going into that fight? I know you shouldn't as a fighter look too far ahead, obviously, but sometimes it's hard not to, I'd imagine.
I mean, listen, to be totally honest, I don't know where Ryan Garcia's head's at full stop. With some of the ludicrous things he comes out with some of the crazy things some of these fighters say. It bewilders me at times with what they're saying. So, I mean, listen, I'm all for the mental health check with fighters, but I've seen fighters coming out with racist shouts. I've seen fighters coming out with saying all kinds of nonsense. I don't like it.
No,
so, and that ain't nothing to do with money. That's not. It's just, you know, it's got to be. They've got to be sanctioned and dealt with for some of the things they say or some of the things 100%. They do. And yeah, that's the way it goes.
Yeah, quick fire question. I think you've said in the past Ryan Garcia's got the best left hook in boxing.
Yeah, right.
Who do you reckon had the best right hook, or has currently got the best right hook? It's a difficult
right hook or right hand?
Right hook, because I suppose we're going punch for punch. Left hook Garcia, right hook. Can be a heavyweight, it can be anyone really. Just put you on the spot there.
Daniel Dubois is up there.
It is, isn't it? Yeah,
Daniel Dubois' right hand is an extremely dangerous shot. He's very powerful. And Nue is another one.
Yeah. He put on a decent performance on Sunday as well, once again.
There's a number of fighters that I like. As I said, but for the one shot, Daniel Dubois' right hand is probably the most deadly right hand in boxing right now.
Devastating. We might get to see it in July at Wembley Stadium.
It is devastating.
Yeah.
It is. If he can land it, it's devastating. But you know, he's got to believe in himself more, in my opinion.
True. I think Frank Warren's believing a lot more in him now. I think he said if he loses that fight, he's going to give Oleksandr Usyk his £200,000 Bentley or something.
It's just buttons compared to what he's been making, so fair play.
Yeah, fair point. Do you think we're seeing a different Daniel Dubois now, though?
Yeah, I do. I do think he's massively improved. I think he came of age against AJ.
Personality-wise, he's looking a bit more...
I just think, you know, against Jarrell Miller, he's shown he can come through tough moments.
True.
Jarrell Miller wasn't active enough, and Jarrell Miller doesn't punch hard enough. He'll come across a completely different skill set than Oleksandr Usyk. You got to remember he's been in there with him already, we all know what happened last time.
Yes, true.
I don't want to hear this stuff about low blows. It's called a protector for a reason. If you hit a protector, guess what? It's low. Yeah. The protector, as long as the protector's in the right place, where it always is with Usyk, you can do all your video editing you want. I've fought him, I know what he's like. The guy hasn't got a cheating bone in his body. The protector's always on point.
Yeah.
You do rise up in fights through no fault of their own, but ultimately that shot was low. I don't care what anyone says.
I think the ref definitely helped a little bit, didn't he? Gave him that extra time. Even when Usyk was ready to fight, he said no.
Listen, I also believe that had the referee gone, that's good, he's getting up. He's played the shot.
Yeah, well,
and he's got every right to. Like say, for me, it's low. But if that referee starts counting, he's up. Believe you me, because he ain't staying on the floor for no one.
No, fair
so
point.
I've seen him hit off better body shots.
Yeah.
You know, Artur Beterbiev in the amateurs catches him with an absolute monster of a body shot.
He firmed it.
But he gets up.
Yeah.
Because the boy's got no quit in him.
I wonder what we'll see, because Frank Warren blames Dubois for not, going after him after that.
I'm happy someone has. I'm happy someone has, because that shows to me that, he's got to, you've landed that shot, go and finish him.
Yeah.
If you genuinely think that was a legal shot, then go out there and finish him.
Yeah.
He may have thought it was low, and he didn't hit him to the body himself.
I think he said...
Natural instincts, and Daniel Dubois has got natural finishing instincts as well.
Yeah,
so it's amazing that he never pressed it.
What was I going to say here today? Usyk seems so calm and laid back about the fight. Is there any chance Dubois can get under his skin? He pushed him at Wembley Stadium, but Usyk's been there, seen it all, done it all.
No one's getting under his skin.
No. Did you try to before your fight?
No, because he said they told me he couldn't speak any English, so he played an absolute blinder.
Clever.
He understands perfect English, to be honest, and if I'd have known, I'd have been right in his head. But it's too late now. Listen, he's in I couldn't speak highly enough of him. He's the best fighter in the world. For me, he's pound for pound number one.
Top guy. He's not bad at the old mind games though, is he, Usyk, to be fair?
He's smart.
Yeah.
He's smart, and he appears in places you don't expect him to be. He says things you don't expect him to say. He's a maverick.
Yeah.
He's a maverick. He's an anomaly. No one's done what he's done before. No one's seen what he's doing before. No one can explain how this man's beaten people 6'9".
Yeah.
No one in 6'6", 6'7", and he's not just beating them. He's nearly stopping them.
Yeah, fair.
He's beating them up. I mean, he's just pushed a man who's about 3 or 4 stone heavier than him and 4 or 5 inches bigger than him, and bullied him for a whole fight.
Yeah, unbelievable.
It makes no sense. Like, we don't know how he's doing this, but he's doing it. So, like I said, he's a maverick. He's not only he's the best fighter in the world.
Yeah, and great to see an undisputed heavyweight fight at Wembley Stadium in our country. Should be an absolute blockbuster. Terence Crawford was at ringside watching Canelo, I believe, ahead of their mega fight, which is now being confirmed for September. I know you've tipped Bud in the past for this, and now people are starting to kind of come on board with your prediction, I think.
It's funny, isn't it? When I first, everyone laughed at me and said he's got no chance.
I know, and now is Canelo on the wane slightly, or is he just...
No, I don't think it... Listen, of course, with age, everyone gets a little bit slower, the reflexes...
He's still only mid-30s, isn't he?
He's not old by any stretch of the imagination. No, he's an exceptional fighter, Canelo, but the way that everyone will think is weight classes exist for a reason, and they're thinking Bud's going up too much. Bud's actually big. Terence Crawford's a big dude. I've been around him, I know him.
Fair.
And he's a brilliant fighter. Technically very adaptive, can do it all. Has got power. The Errol Spence fight tells you everything you need to know. The Errol Spence fight he was unbelievable. And Errol Spence is a seriously physically strong guy.
Right.
With power. Errol Spence made it the modern day Marvin Hagler. He was a force to be reckoned with. And he brushed Errol Spence aside like he was nothing. And bullied him. And once again, I predicted that fight. I said he'd stop Errol Spence late. No one's seen that coming. It's just styles make fights so much. And Errol likes to wait and be powerful. Canelo's similar. Canelo likes to wait. It has to be all at Canelo's rate and pace.
Right.
He's not going to get that way with Terence Crawford.
No, you think...
I just think Terence Crawford will outwork him, will pot shot him, and I think he'll win on points.
It'll be interesting, won't it? Because people say Canelo, he'll come in at the weigh-in looking a certain size, then the next day on fight night he looks like he's his big brother.
Of course, he's going to carve up, he's going to be big. He'll deplete and he'll make weight correctly, and him being at super middleweight for so long will help him. He's the favourite going into the fight. I get why he's the favourite and why he's the A-side, but all good things come to an end. And by the way, if I'm wrong and Canelo does defeat Terence Crawford as the first man to beat him, he deserves so much credit.
Of course.
And no one should say, it's nothing, don't go on to me about size and, I'm supposed to beat him, he's a little guy, because that's the path Canelo's taken. I'm supposed to beat this guy, no one's going to give me credit. I will give you all the credit in the world because no one's been able to figure out Terence Crawford yet. Will you be the first one?
An enigma as well in his own style. So
fantastic.
It will be an intriguing fight for sure. Jake Paul, we've got to mention him. He's fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., son of a legend, same as kind of Chris Eubank Jr.
He is, but let's be honest, I mean, he's not living the life.
No.
He's already lost to an MMA guy in Anderson Silva.
Yeah, he's kind of been a step down from that top level for a while now. He's
not taking it seriously.
This is at
and he hasn't
cruiserweight.
taken it seriously for a while.
Yeah, this is at cruiserweight, so Jake
Paul's once again, he's nowhere near that size naturally.
So he'll be blown up, kind of just...
He was a super middleweight at one stage. Middleweight, at one stage as well. I think, was it Martinez who he pushed right to the well? It was, when he drops him 3 times in the final round.
That's it, incredible fight.
What a fight that was.
Yeah.
But I just think, Jake Paul ain't making matches to lose.
No, that's it.
Whoever Jake Paul's picking he's going to beat.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he doesn't want to go anywhere near someone like Carl Froch.
Yeah, or back to Tommy Fury.
There's a reason why he isn't facing Tommy Fury. All the money would be in, he would get more money fighting Carl Froch or Tommy Fury than he ever would to face Anderson Silva. Because everyone knows how the Anderson Silva's going to go. Yeah. You know, no one knows how the Tommy Fury fight will go. And don't be ridiculous in thinking he's got a chance against people if he picks the right fights. I mean, he's fighting granddads, which is just wrong.
The granddad hunter.
It's just wrong on every level. But listen, some of the things that I do think he's improving. I do think he's getting better. There's no point in lying. I'm putting the kid down.
He's obviously putting a lot of work in.
He's getting better, mate. And I'd say he does put the hard rounds in. I just think it's all about matchmaking for these guys. I'd like to see him face KSI. I think KSI has so much ability athletically as a specimen. If he's taught correctly, I think he'll be the best out of the Misfits bunch. Don't get me wrong, Ty Mitchell's on another level. Ty Mitchell's the best. Ty Mitchell will end up being the best fighter Misfits ever had. Ty Mitchell's exceptional. Ty Mitchell is a brilliant fighter. I know because I had him in for sparring for many years, and he's a very good fighter.
Okay, we'll see where he goes.
Trust me, he will go somewhere.
Yeah, it's a shame KSI had to pull out his fight with Dylan Dennis. That would have been.
It is, and I like JJ. I think, listen, I like what they all do because my kids love them. I don't really know much about the YouTube guys and stuff. I don't know the most, but I do respect them. And I do think they are doing brilliant things in certain phases. I just didn't like the Jake Paul thing and the Mike Tyson stuff.
Yeah, no, that was
horrific.
Far, wasn't it? Yeah, Bellew Jack wants a piece of Jake Paul as well. Apparently, Carl.
Does he?
Yeah, well, that's what I've read. We'll see. I don't know. I can imagine.
Bellew's not getting any younger. I mean, he's a couple of years. I think he's a year or two behind me. Is he 40 now?
Must be in his 40s.
I'm 42. I mean.
Yeah. Looking not bad for it though.
Listen, I think I could beat Bellew, to be honest. Bellew's been in some hard fights.
Yeah.
But he's a brilliant fighter, Bellew.
Yeah,
he's been in some really hard fights, mate, and they'll show. I mean, that last win last time out is a big win for him. But you know, he's going to want a big money fight. But
for sure.
Play to him.
For sure. Lee Wood is back in action after a frustratingly long absence. You know, he said he's fighting Antonio Cacace, but do you think ring rust will affect him? He didn't fight at all in 2024, did he? And
it's a shame because he's missed out on the stream of fighting at Forest's ground. This fight's a proper make or break fight, and I just think Cacace's going to be too big.
He's been very active, hasn't he, to be fair?
Cacace, mate, he really impressed me.
Yeah, great fight.
That win over Cordina, the win against Warwick, he's really impressed me. So I feel sorry for Lee Wood, and I hate picking against him because I like him. I think Lee Wood's a great fella, but I just think Cacace possibly by late stoppage or mid to late stoppage.
Interesting.
It's a really good fight, and I've got to give credit to both fights as well, and both teams for taking it, because they could have easily said no. Ben Davidson could have said no for Lee Wood, and I credit them all with the bravery they're taking. It's a proper fight.
It must be. It's weird because Lee Wood was BBOC Fighter of the Year 2023, and how do you go from that to not fighting for a whole year?
Because this is the obligations and the promoters and whatever's going on wrong in the background. They offer you fights, and it's basically on their terms. It might not suit you. So I don't know who I'm sure they offered Lee Wood a fight.
I think Eddie Hearn was frustrated because they did offer Lee Wood a fight.
There you go.
So it didn't happen.
There you go. They've offered him a fight. He obviously stylistically didn't like the fight or didn't want the fight. Could have been anything, but a fighter should always be his own boss. So if he didn't like that fight or whatever, but he's took this Cacace one, fair play.
Yeah, fair play. The Romford Bull, Johnny Fisher, rematching Dave Allen. That's the one we're already looking forward to in the next couple of weeks, isn't it?
I'm looking forward to that.
At the Copper Bosch. Should be an absolute fire fight, really. Same as the first one. I mean, will it go a different way for you, or will it go similarly?
I think Dave's a problem. Dave Allen's a problem for anyone.
They won't want to leave it up to the judges this time.
Especially if you don't take him seriously. If you think you're going to blow him away and get rid of him, you've got another thing coming. He's got knowledge. He's got IQ in ring knowledge where he can survive with anyone. He takes a really good shot. Very durable. But listen, that could go at just any moment. That durability and that thing, as we've seen with Joe Joyce, it can just, once it goes, it's gone. And Dave's took a lot of bangs, mate. He's took an awful lot of bangs. So I think Johnny Fisher will get rid of him this time. And I think he'll be more patient. He'll base it off a strong jab, look to dictate, not look to commit too much early doors. And then I think he'll look to come strong in the back, down the back stretch. But never write Dave Allen off. Dave Allen's a strong, tough competitor. Deserves an awful lot of respect, a lot of ups and downs in his career. So I like Dave, he's a good guy, but I just think Johnny Fisher will be too much on the night.
It's going to be a great fight either way. Okay, let's have a bit more of a kind of, what's the word? Question that's outside the box a little bit. Who is the biggest rising star of British boxing at this point in time? I've got a name in mind that I wonder if you'll...
Go on, let's hear it.
Moses Itauma.
Listen, he's the biggest.
He's a problem for the heavyweight division, isn't he?
He's the future.
He's coming.
He's the future. Yeah. He is the future, that boy. Yeah. I always thought it might be his size that holds him back, but he's good enough. Oleksandr Usyk has shown size isn't as much.
Yeah, he's still growing into himself as well, to be fair. So
he's a boy. Yeah, I mean, I see that one. I love what Nick Ball's done and what he's been able to achieve. He's obviously established now.
Big fans.
Rising stars. There's a few.
Was there anyone on the undercard of Eubank Benn that caught your eye?
Oh, listen, that kid, McKenna.
Aaron McKenna, yeah.
He's a good fighter.
Yeah.
He's a good fighter. Liam is past his best, but doesn't matter.
Top
that McKenna, his work rate, he didn't lay down, he didn't stop, he kept going. He's a good fighter.
Yeah. There's a few out there. I think Moses Itauma's fighting Mike Balogun next, who's a former NFL linebacker, but he's got a decent boxing record as well, so that'll be good. That's on the undercard of Josh Taylor.
Is that a step backwards after what he done to Marius Wack?
Possibly, but I guess he's just trying to stay active, isn't he? Keep his name out there, keep in the ring.
He's a very good fighter. As long as he will be managed well. He will be looked after. I mean, Frank's got a reputation of how he builds his fighters, so you've just got to say fair play. He does. He builds them up. And he won't throw you to the wolves unless he is 100% certain you can win. It's very rare he lets his fighters off the leash and they're not ready.
I saw you were campaigning for Stockbridge ABC, I should say.
Yeah, that's my first gym I ever started at.
Before you moved to Rotunda then?
Yeah,
that's it. Okay.
I only ever boxed at 2 gyms, Stockbridge and Rotunda. Once I walked in the Rotunda doors, nowhere else was the same for me.
Right.
Everything else was different. But I started Stockbridge ABC with Mark Kinney and Smogger, and great gym, brilliant people.
Okay.
Me and Jonesy, Peter Jones, used to train together all the time, good fighters. Rocky Fielding was in there as a baby, he was a good kid. Gary Wilson, Spenner. Yeah, great gym, and I'm happy they've come to be able to resolve it now and get it sorted, because I was furious when I found out about that. I was very, very angry. Right. The Cantrell Farm, Stockbridge ABC, Stockbridge Village kind of thing, there's not much going on in that little village besides that boxing gym. It saved so many lives. So they could not ever let that gym go away. You know, what are you going to turn it into? Absolutely nothing. Crush it or knock it down. Keep it for the kids.
And the community.
Give them places to go in the community. And they've done that, so well done.
Great for grassroots
well
boxing.
Well done, Knowsley Council.
Did you play in the Jack Wilshere Golf Open Day?
No, I couldn't get there. I was working. I was working, so I couldn't get there. I wanted to, and he invited me to. Jack's a great lad. But I just couldn't get there. I was working.
Okay, that's a shame. But the handicap still going in the right direction?
No, it's gone up a little bit yesterday, so yeah, thanks very much. I'm now 20, not 19.8 no more, I'm 20 now, so I'm furious. Didn't play a good game the other day, so it's gone up slightly.
But anyway, you scored at Goodison Park today, so we
can... it could be worse, yes.
Yeah, much
I'm happy.
Quick question, as an Everton fan, how has it been around Liverpool the last few weeks, with obviously Liverpool winning the league, but...
They got what they deserved.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
So fairer than that.
The one thing you can't do is fluke a league over 38 games.
Yeah.
They've been immense this season. They deserve to win it. Fair play, tip me hat to them. Celtic have been absolutely fantastic in the Scottish League.
Did you see some Evertonians bought a load of blue flares and changed the labels to red and then handing them out? I thought that was good banter.
Listen, it's top-notch shithousery at the highest level. It's brilliant, but it's brilliant. It's banter between the clubs. Listen, I'm a Scouser before I'm a football fan. I'm a love where I'm from. I'm proud of my city. As I say, I love where I'm from. And half, you know, a number of all my wife's side of the family are Reds. My side of the family, my part of the family are Blues. My dad's a Red. My wife's a Red. But they deserve it. And then my little nephew plays for them. So, Jaden. So, yeah.
Good for the city in
general. When he's in that squad and on that pitch, I'm willing to do well.
Yeah, of course.
Because I want to see him. I just want to see him thrive and get you know, achieve his full potential, which he's going to do probably at that club as well.
Amazing. Okay, yeah, family rivalry. Families are, you know, higher up than club rivalries, to be fair, aren't they? We need to. Are we good? Okay. Sorry about that. We'll move on. Quick fire round just to finish things off. Fights that never happened. Can we get a Bellew prediction? Just a quick one. Doesn't have to be too long if you want. Right. Let's go with Prince Nassim Marquez. Third of a fought.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Maybe it should have happened as well. No, not sure why.
For a Nassim Ahmed KO.
Yeah.
But you know what? Prime for prime. Oh, people won't like this, but Nassim Ahmed. You see, Juan Manuel Marquez, in my opinion, is probably the third greatest counterpuncher ever in boxing. I'd say Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker, and then I would say it's Juan Manuel Marquez, followed by Canelo Alvarez.
Right. He's up there, yeah.
The thing with that, with being a counterpuncher, is you need someone to lead off first. Nas was never going to lead off.
No, true.
And also, Juan Manuel Marquez was vulnerable. Nassim Ahmed was unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable, and was defeated only by a true great in Marco Antonio Barrera.
That's facts.
And a true great. So I'm picking Nas.
Yeah.
I think he'd have caught Juan Manuel Marquez, and I think he's one of the greatest finishers this country's ever seen.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a big Nas fan.
Underrated, maybe in certain
some of the wins he has over his career are well overlooked. The Vianney Bungu win is massive. The Augie Sanchez win is massive. The Steve Robinson win's massive.
Yeah, he was in there with a few greats, to be fair.
He smashed his way through everyone. He was unbelievable, I'd say. People like to harp on, he come short against Marco Antonio Barrera. So did many others.
Yeah, many did. It's true. All right, you've probably been asked this before, but a classic that never happens. Joe Calzaghe and Carl Froch, the Cobra.
Yeah, both great guys. Calls me mate.
Yeah.
I get on with Frochi, but he'd never beat Joe Calzaghe.
No, you don't think so?
Not a chance.
George Rose said the same, to be fair. Well, he said he'd smash him, but you think he would have gone a distance?
Not a chance. No, he's not stopping Carl. No chance. Very few would stop Carl.
Yeah.
But he's not beating Joe Calzaghe, I'm sorry. He's just going to rattle punches off you all night.
Right, a quick one here. James Toney and Chris Eubank Sr. Lights out James Toney.
Are you serious?
Well, I didn't put this one down here, to be fair.
James Toney all day. James Toney's on another level.
Yeah.
Do you understand? These boys were never going near James Toney.
No.
Chris and Nigel knew all about James Toney. And Roy Jones Jr. Just stay away.
Yeah.
There's reasons why we have managers and promoters. You know.
It's dangerous.
I've gone against 2 Ring Magazine champions and been spanked twice. In Oleksandr Usyk and Adonis Stevenson.
Yeah.
Monsters, and they were another level. Like, James Toney is possibly one of the most naturally gifted fighters boxing has ever seen. He's definitely top 5, 10 of naturally talented fighter. What he could do in a boxing ring was just unbelievable. His ability is just phenomenal.
Do you think he deserves more recognition this side of the?
Yeah, but people don't understand boxing and know it as well as I do.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
James Toney is like a freak.
Yeah,
he's unbelievable.
Right.
It's Roy Jones Jr.'s greatest ever win, beating a prime James Toney.
Yeah,
it's the greatest win of Roy Jones' career, and Roy Jones for me is the greatest fighter that's ever lived. A prime Roy Jones anyway.
That sums it up fairly well, doesn't it, I think? All right, one more. Let's go for Miguel Cotto and Ricky Hatton. Prime Ricky Hatton.
Oh, that's a great fight.
Yeah, it's a great fight, isn't it?
That's a great fight. Yeah. Rick's me mate. Absolutely love Rick, but I don't think he beats Miguel Cotto.
Yeah, Miguel Cotto was
Cotto's a monster, mate. Miguel Cotto is the second greatest Puerto Rican fighter ever. And understand the kind of level of fights I'm talking about.
Serious levels.
You know, unbelievable. From your Benitez's to your Felix Trinidad's to the list is endless.
Yeah.
And
great.
And I rate Miguel up there. Don't get me wrong. I think Felix Trinidad was not better than Miguel Cotto, but he had a better career, and that's why I rank him above. The win over De La Hoya is just unbelievable. I don't really like looking at fights and looking at the back end of their careers because they always stay too long. They overstay the welcome all the time. So I don't really count them. That's why I say Roy Jones is the greatest ever. If Roy Jones Jr. was to walk away after beating John Ruiz, he would, without question and no doubt, be known as the greatest fighter because he stays around too long and gets knocked out the way he does.
Reputation wanes a bit unfairly though in a way because like you say, you remember the end of the career.
Exactly, people shouldn't always remember the end of their careers. This is why Muhammad Ali is the greatest man to ever put on boxing gloves. That win in Zaire against George Foreman in 67 or 76. I think it's 67.
Yeah, 60s, isn't it?
That is the greatest victory of any boxer at any moment, at any point. That is the greatest victory because he was written off by everybody. They thought he was going there to be killed like a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
He'd knocked out Norton, he'd knocked out Frazier, who'd both beaten Muhammad Ali, and he went there and destroyed George Foreman.
Yeah.
And he'd done it in a way that no one ever thought possible. If he'd have told the world he was going to let George Foreman punch him so many times, he was going to get tired before the fight, they'd have made him 1,000,000 to 1 underdog, and he'd done it. He's the greatest human being that has probably ever walked this earth, Muhammad Ali.
Amazing.
What he gave up, what he done, what the things he achieved.
Yeah.
He's just my all-time hero.
Yeah, what a note to sign off with. I think we should just leave it there, man.